Okay. Allow me to conclude by getting angry once again about Shedeur Sanders. Now I'm really out of my mind over this one because I didn't see this one coming. So there was the report the other day from Adam Schefter that Shedeur, and possibly advised by his father, Deion Sanders, that somebody from that camp, starting with Shedeur, turned down the Baltimore Ravens when they apprised, I assume, Deion via Ozzie Newsome, the great Ozzie Newsome, who's still advising in Baltimore, knew Deion very well when Deion played for the Ravens. I'm assuming that Ozzie gave Deion the heads up just before the pick was to be made. We're thinking about Shedeur. This is 5th round when he's fallen all the way through 4, incomprehensibly, regrettably, shamefully. And I assume Ozzie was just giving a heads up. I don't think Ozzie was looking for a yay or nay, because the truth is you can't do that unless you're Archie Manning with Eli Manning at the very top of the draft and you force a trade. That can be done in negotiations that could go on for weeks before the draft. This is on the fly, on the clock. Ozzie, I'm assuming, telling Deion, hey, just heads up, thinking about this. And Shedeur responding, no, I don't want to go there. Shedeur thinking he was going to go 1st overall. I thought he should have gone 1st overall. My friend Mel Kiper had him ranked above Cam Ward in his final assessment before the draft. Mel Kiper, the great Mel Kiper Jr. But the league wanted to teach Deion and Shedeur a lesson because Shedeur did not say all the right things in his pre-draft meetings with several teams. He was too brazen, too cocky, too irreverent, too into himself, because he really believes that he can be a star in this league, and so do I. And so does his daddy. So obviously on the fly when he gets hit with Baltimore, well, there's obviously Lamar, but by then Baltimore had signed my backup quarterback, who I've frequently called the best backup quarterback in the league, in Cooper Rush. So now Shedeur at a glance is saying, Lamar, Cooper Rush, me, what chance do I have of playing as a rookie? Be a long shot. You never know. Quarterbacks do get hurt, as we've already seen, God knows. But still something of a long shot. And Shedeur said, no, I'll let the chips fall. They couldn't have known about Cleveland yet. And I'm pretty sure Cleveland did not call Deion and say, we're thinking about. Cleveland just took him because that's what you do in the 5th round. You just take somebody whether they like it or not. But I'm sure Shedeur thought, I'm better than Dillon Gabriel. They took Dillon Gabriel 50 slots above Shedeur, 3rd round. 50 slots. I know Dillon Gabriel. I watched him for 2 years, University of Oklahoma, some last year at Oregon, even some the year before. Where was he? Central Florida. Shedeur is better than Dillon Gabriel. Shedeur, if given the opportunity, will be much better in pro football than Dillon Gabriel. As much as I like Dillon Gabriel, and I've told you before, he's better than Tua. Maybe that's not saying a whole lot, but he's better than Tua, and he's built, looks a lot like Tua, also from Hawaii, left-handed. Better than Tua. But Shedeur, I'm sure the moment he hears Cleveland, he's thinking, Flacco can't be too long. They had Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel. Maybe I can figure this out. Maybe it'll be craziness. It's always crazy in Cleveland. Maybe something will happen, and maybe that's with a bad team in desperate search of a new quarterback. Maybe he'd have a better chance there. And I'm thinking, okay. my only thought about Baltimore now that I know what I know is that with Baltimore, at least you learn from two of the best in being professional, being a pro. How do you be a pro? Show me Lamar, show me Cooper Rush. Show me how to do it. Let me feel the tradition in Baltimore. Let me learn how to do this the right way. Let me rehabilitate my image. Let me restore some credibility in Baltimore so that maybe at trade deadline, some team will say, well, he's been learning from Lamar. He's restored his professionalism inside the Raider culture. I'm sorry, the Raven culture, not Raider. And maybe he's worth a shot. Maybe that would improve his trade sort of stock, if you will. Just improve his stock a little bit where maybe somebody would say, okay, I like the way he's handled himself in Baltimore. I'll take a shot. Instead, he goes to Cleveland. Cleveland pretty quickly moves Kenny Pickett out. Good. Shedeur gets thrown into the fire. Craziness ensued. You got quarterback injuries everywhere. And so he gets thrown into the fire with some backups, at least some twos, some second stringers in that first preseason game. And he lights it up. He showed you exactly what I knew he would. He's that good. Should have been the first pick in the draft. That's how good he is. If he ever gets a shot, he got a shot. He showed you. He performed at a high level. Got thrown into the third preseason game in the second half with 4s and 5s, and it didn't look very good. He held the ball too long. He's trying to make a play, desperate. But you saw what you saw in the first preseason game. FanDuel's getting you ready for the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet $5. If it wins, you will unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You can build parlays, you can bet player props, you can ride the live lines, whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. The NFL season is here. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's on top of us, and the games just get greater and greater, more and more exciting. The only question is, are you ready to play? I mean, play yourself. Visit FanDuel.com/skip. Use my first name, SKIP, to download the FanDuel app today and get started. FanDuel.com/skip, SKIP. So the other day, I'm thinking, well, at least in Cleveland, at least if Flacco's going to get banged up, they're probably going to get Dylan Gabriel in there, I don't know, 5th, 6th game. They still have a pretty good defense, a very good defense. And I'm thinking, you never know what could happen to Dylan Gabriel. He's smallish. Maybe Shedeur gets his shot. And then I stumble upon the fact that the Cleveland Browns did this to Shedeur Sanders, and I missed it because it happened just before the season started. It was actually very late August, the very end of August. They re-signed a player they had cut. You'll remember him from New England, Bailey Zappi. They did that to Shedeur Sanders. They went and signed Bailey Zappi because I promise you, Kevin Stefanski, the notorious Kevin Stefanski, who did in Baker Mayfield, did in Shedeur with Bailey Zappi. Bailey Zappi, kid from Victoria, Texas, went to Houston Baptist, then he went to Western Kentucky, and the great Bill Belichick, 2022, said, you know what? I might have missed the boat on this Mac Jones kid. Yeah, I took him in the first round. I thought he could be my next Brady, but I don't love him. I really kind of like this Bailey Zappi out of Western Kentucky. I'm going to use a 4th-round pick on Bailey Zappi, and I'm going to give him a chance when he's a rookie. He started 2 games, did Bailey Zappi as a rookie, and Belichick loved him. He looked pretty good. Next year, he started 6 games for Belichick as the wheels fell off in New England. And trust me, the league takes that to heart because the league still way overestimates and overvalues Bill Belichick, who was a product of Tom Brady, but nobody wants to hear that, even though I keep saying it. My point to you is that Stefanski idolizes Belichick, and Stefanski's thinking to himself, if Belichick loved this kid, I should love this kid. So even though they had cut him after he started 1 game in Cleveland late last year, I think it was the last game, and they moved on, but then he's thinking, you just know, Stefanski has no use for Shedeur Sanders. No use. That was an ownership. That was a Jimmy Haslam special. Jimmy Haslam just wanted the quick fix of publicity, take some of the onus and attention off what a mess they've made of the Cleveland Browns. So he said, take Shedeur Sanders. Just take him. We'll get all the media attention in training camp about Shedeur, not about how we're, in odds, the worst team in the league in preseason Super Bowl odds. They re-signed Bailey Zappi, and there was a report this past week in ESPN Cleveland that a lot of the practice snaps are now being split between Flacco, of course, Dylan Gabriel, and Bailey Zappi, and that Shedeur is mostly watching. Bailey Zappi's only 26, so he started... 2 + 6, 9 games. He started 9 games. And don't think that Stefanski doesn't take that to his mental bank. He clearly values Bailey Zappi over Shedeur Sanders. My point to you is that Shedeur is still stuck in hell in Cleveland. Should have been the first overall pick. And now he can't get on the practice field even for the scout team in Cleveland, freaking Ohio. It's just so wrong. It's so unfair. It's so shameful. And I'm still sure that there are GMs and scouts around this league laughing their asses off about what happened to Shedeur and to his father as they got taught a lesson. We showed them we do it our way. We don't do it their way. We don't have music in the locker room. We don't have DJs in the locker room at halftime and pregame. We don't do that. We don't drive 3 or 4 exotic cars while we're in college. We don't do that if we're going to be the face of an NFL franchise. That's the attitude of this league. And Stefanski got him again by bringing in, of all people, Bailey Zappi. So I thought Shedeur might have a chance. Now, I'm pretty sure in the pecking order, it may not be listed that way on the depth chart, but in the pecking order in the mind of one Kevin Stefanski, it goes Fluco, then little Dylan Gabriel, and then Bailey Zappi, Belichick's favorite son. He's third in the mind of Kevin Stefanski, and I'm sure Kevin would love to give him another start or 2 this year because he probably thinks he can turn into something in this league because Bill said he could. I'm sorry, it just makes me sick. I don't want to say I'm praying for this because I don't pray for things like this, but I do pray for Shedeur just to find some peace somewhere, like somehow, some way, something happen where God is good and Shedeur just gets an opportunity elsewhere, somewhere except that hellhole that has become Cleveland, Ohio. Maybe he should have gone to the Ravens. maybe he should have been the first overall pick.